Hola, buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Abelardo de la Peña Jr., Director of Marketing and Communications with La Plaza de Cultura y Artes, bringing you our Monday edition of En Casa con La Plaza. And as you know, all of you who have been joining us on Mondays, it's En Casa con La Plaza Cocina, where we bring to you not just our regular conversations, presentations, and performances from our home to yours, but we invite some special guests from the best cuisine of them all, Mexican cuisine, who could talk to us and demonstrate their favorite recipes. So to get us started, first of all, if you're on Zoom, make sure you chat with us, click on Q&A if you have a question. If you're on Facebook Live, of course, you can comment, wave, ask a question. Let us know where you're coming from. Share on your own Facebook, start a watch party. Again, comments and questions are welcome. We might put them in there during the demonstration or we'll save them for later. But to get us started, I introduce to you Jimena Martin, our Director of Programming and Culinary Programming. Take it away, Jimena.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Abelardo. I'm so excited to bring in a partner in crime. She's so supported La Plaza with us in so many events at our salsa festivals, all kinds of parties that we have there at La Plaza. So I'm so invited to bring back Lucy Thompson, born Luz Maria Ramirez in San Francisco, Guanajuato. She's an LA native, grew up in El Sereno. After almost 20 years in the fashion industry, she switched careers to join her lovely husband, Chef Brett Thompson from Pez Cantina, and opened up the restaurant in 2015. Lucy grew up in a family of 7 siblings in a home where food was the center of everything. Her family recipes have made their way to Pez Cantina, especially the famous green pozole verde, and her father's famous carnitas. You'll find Lucy running the front of the house at Pez, and any day of the week when she's not parenting her 2 lovely boys, Levi and Luke. Today, she's going to present a shrimp avocado salad and a delicious mango margarita, just in time, some ideas for upcoming Labor Day celebrations here. I pass it on to you, Miss Lucy. How are you?
Good, thank you so much for having me. Welcome to our humble space, Pez Cantina, here in downtown LA.
So what are you going to start us off with today?
Well, for starters, I am going to be making an avocado shrimp salad. It is super easy to make. And for those of you who know the restaurant and know our story, you will know that Brett, my husband, is normally the chef. But what you may not know is that like Jimena said, I grew up in a family of 7 and we had an assembly line during dinner all the time. So my mom had built-in sous chefs. So if we were making chiles rellenos, one person was in charge of making grilling the chiles, another person was in charge of whipping the egg whites to get them ready for the meringue, the other person was making the salsa, and the other person was making the rice. And then you could never repeat the same thing 2 times in a row because you needed to learn every station. So that's where I kind of got my skills, but being married to Brett, he's kind of taught me a lot of other things. Like, for example, I'm chopping up the tomatoes now. And for me, I like to take out the seeds. I just think it makes a better presentation when you're making your pico de gallo. It looks cleaner, and I don't know, I just like it. Sometimes my sister gets mad at me because she says the seeds are the best part, but that's just a personal preference. And then it allows you to chop the tomato a little bit better. So yeah, that's just a fun little idea to get rid of the seeds. I'm going to be making a portion for 1, so I would use maybe about half of a medium-sized tomato, and then the onion part, maybe just like, I would say, less than 1/4 of a red onion. Red onions are kind of nicer because they're not as strong. They're a little bit sweeter than maybe some of the white onions. And again, just dicing it up as finely as possible so that it gives it the red coloring, but it doesn't overpower it. So you've got that.
Lucy,
And then
if we don't have a red onion at home, would a white onion or
definitely a white onion or even a sweet onion. I just think the crunch of the onion is really nice. And then I like to add both. I like to add red onion, and then I also like to add a scallion. I think it gives it kind of a diversity, and I like the change in the consistency of how you chop it. This I like to kind of cut the tip off, and then I just kind of make a cross right through the front like so. So you kind of have it like a X out, and then it makes it easier to just chop through.
While you're chopping away, we have some friends saying hello. We have Susan Silvertooth all the way from Tucson,
Ooh.
Carmen Arnold from South Florida, Stephen Palma from Studio City. So a lot of love coming your way. Also, Crystal Messer is also saying how much she loves Pez Cantina.
Oh, thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know, we do have a lovely patio, and we are open for service. So if any of you are craving any of our ceviches or just want to come in for a margarita, come on in and say hi. You will find us here. We're closed on Mondays, but every other day we're here. We're open for brunch on Saturdays and Sundays, and it's just it's been really lovely. It's been a little bit warm, but in the evenings it just turns into a magical evening surrounded by the skyline of beautiful downtown LA. So please come see us.
I understand you had a great tiki night at Pez?
Yeah, so this Saturday, Brett has been wanting to do a tiki night forever. And he lived in Hawaii for a while. His dad lived there for about 15 years. And he trained a little bit with Roy Yamaguchi. So he's got a little bit of that Hawaiian fever, so to speak. And so we held this night, and it was such a beautiful night. I mean, I feel like we're still coming off of the high. The people, we're just so happy to be here and so happy to be a part of it. And the food was just spectacular. And it was such a success that we are already planning a second one, but maybe doing it with the tequila. And hopefully with Coralejo, because they're from Guanajuato, my home state. And so if you don't follow us on Instagram already, please do so, because we post most of our events on Facebook and Instagram. And that's how we keep the public knowing what we're doing. So here, I just want to show you, like, it's very, very simple. Tomatoes, onions, and I put half of a jalapeno, and I keep the seeds on this one because the seed is what gives it all of the flavor. And very simply, just some salt and pepper. And I pre-squeeze some lime juice. And I like lime juice because it's got a little bit more of a tangy feeling, and then you don't have to worry about the seeds, which I kind of struggle with every now and then. So there's that. So then you just mix it up, and I'm gonna just set this aside, let it marinate for a little bit. And then we're gonna take this beautiful Hass avocado. And so this is, you've gotta kind of be careful because you wanna cut it straight down the middle. And then you have your pit there, and you've got this one that's clean. You can use both of them, but I'm gonna use this one because I don't have to worry about the pit. And you just kind of take the spoon and you go right along the edge of the peel, all the way around. And then you're ready to scoop it up. So for the plate presentation, this is where Brett's advice has come through. So this is just a chile puya aioli, and you can kind of, I mean, we make this in-house for all of our ceviches, but even if you want to put almost anything in a squeeze bottle, it makes anything decorative. So what I like to do is just kind of like do little circles and get bigger as I go. And
what is the flavor for the puya chili?
So it really is, it's almost like a house-made mayonnaise. And chile puya, we take dried chile puya pods, and then we rehydrate them, and then you blend them and you emulsify them, so that you kind of create this kind of a mayonnaise kind of flavor. And this color is just gorgeous. If you can see here against the blue, it's just really nice. So I like to use contrast colors because then it makes me feel like I'm a chef and I'm really perfect.
You are a chef, look at you. But the puya chili, is it spicy? Is it mild? Is it like a guajillo?
It's Depends. It does have a little bit of a kick, and sometimes, as you know, with chiles, they all have different personalities. Sometimes they're spicier than others. We don't necessarily use it as a spice. It's more of just like the flavoring. The smokiness really comes through because it's one of those dried chilies. So it's more of a just like something that you feel in the back of your throat, but not very heavy.
Nice.
So then here we have, so what I'm gonna do is I like to take a base. I'm just gonna put this down for a second and put my pico de gallo down. And then what you do here is really cool. You just kind of take your avocado and you place it right on top of the pico de gallo. Can you guys see?
Perfect. Yes, thank you for lifting. Oops.
A little bit, but we'll just bring it back a little bit over here. And then, so I pre-grilled these shrimp, and again, we use the chili oil to cook them, so you kind of get the smokiness and a little bit of the chili flavor. It's not spicy, it's more like smoky and the essence of the chili. So then you can just kind of play around with it, and you can put it around. Let me just grab this really quickly.
So when you grilled them, did it take too long? But you know, más o menos, how much time did it take to grill? How hot was your grill? So folks that are barbecuing over Labor Day.
Oh yeah. I mean, these are Argentinian shrimp, so they're already red and they cook pretty quickly. I like to undercook them just a tiny bit because they continue to kind of stay warm if you're not ready to plate them. And by the time you plate them, then they're now cold. Or right now they're room temperature, but you can serve this chilled. It's really nice, either room temperature or chilled. You don't want it to be too hot because you're pairing it with the avocado and you don't want the avocado to cook. But yeah, I mean, you can even saute these in like a hot pan with just some olive oil, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic. And then we just drizzled some chili oil at the very end.
Very nice. That's a great summer dish because like you can do the pico de gallo a little bit before. I love the idea of taking the seeds out. Guys, feel with the seeds, it leaves the salsa watery.
Exactly.
And so you can make your pico de gallo ahead of time. You can grill up your shrimp or pan fry, keep them aside cool. And then the last thing before your party comes, cut open your avocado and then dress it and leave it beautiful on the platter.
Exactly. And then you can garnish it with just some chips. You can either store-bought, these are homemade, but they make a great little garnish. You could just set it up on top, maybe just one there. And then you've got this beautiful dish there with the half of avocado. It's gonna slide a little bit, but you can kind of see how beautiful that looks. Just wrap the shrimp around it. And it's a great dish. You just kind of cut into it and you enjoy the avocado with the grilled shrimp and the pico de gallo at the base. And it's really delicious, especially for a summer day.
Yes, looks very refreshing. Very refreshing.
And healthy.
Yes.
Carb, high protein.
Yeah, and Lucy, we have some more fans. I'm telling you, we've got Selena Rojas from El Paso, Texas. We have April Macias from Minnesota.
Oh my gosh, hello from Minnesota, how lovely.
So tell us about the mango margarita you can prepare to accompany your
Here comes the exciting part. So you can come to Pescantina and not enjoy one of our margaritas here. During the pandemic, when we were forced to close and we were only doing to go, we launched our Pesca cocktails and we're doing about 8 different flavors of our margaritas. This is the mango version of it. So you can pick it up and take it ready to go. It's got tequila in it already. We use Corralejo. It's a great way, you know, we include a little shaker with it. So you can shake it at home and it's ready to go. So it's perfect for like any weekend plans, really any day. It could be a fun day for a margarita. But we've got, you know, hibiscus, we've got spicy cucumber, we've got palomas with tamarindo, so we've got quite a variety.
That's great. So you can pre-order, call it. What's the best way to pre-order your mixed cocktails there?
You can always just call us. We do use all of the delivery platforms, Postmates, Grubhub, Caviar, DoorDash, but it's easiest because then we keep all of the income in-house, which is very helpful, especially during these times, to just call us directly. We do curbside pickup. If you were like on your way to a party and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm empty-handed, well, who's going to parties, but let's just say you were. You could just call us, prepay over the phone, and we'll run it out to your car and have contactless delivery and be on your merry way.
That's great. That's good to know. Thank you.
Okay, so now the mango margaritas. So these mangoes are totally in season right now. And, you know, it's normally, I like to use the Manila mangoes, or the smaller ones. They're originally from the Philippines, and this is called a Kent. I'm not sure why Kent, but that's its name. And this is super ripe, so ready to go. So you want to make sure the mango is super ripe, because we're going to be making blended margaritas today. So you don't want to have any green chunks in there. It's just really nice to just have the puree. It almost like it's pureed on its own. Mother Nature's doing most of the work for you already. So what we want to do here is you want to kind of create a base for the mango. So I like to cut down first. So now you kind of have like a steady base. The mango can stand on its own, because normally it's kind of oval, so you don't have good control over it. And if you find where the pit is, it's almost the shape of the mango. It's growing out perpendicular. So you make a slit here, and you cut right along the side of the bone or the pit, and then you've got this beautiful slice ready to go. And you just turn it around, and then you do this side as well. And what I like to do at home for my kids is I like to, you know, do the waffle tic-tac-toes around there, and then you just kind of flip it around, and you get this beautifulness.
We call them like turtles.
Exactly.
My little one was, we used to call them turtles.
They're so easy to eat, you could just pick them off. But in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this in half, and then you can either cut along the peel to get the flesh out, or you can just peel it off. This one is pretty ripe, so I don't want to waste any of the flesh. So I'm just gonna peel it off like so. And I'm gonna do maybe just half of this mango, because it's quite fleshy. And then you can just dice this up. And you're gonna throw it in the blender. And again, as I said, the mango is super ripe. It's almost pureeing right in my hand. So it's super easy to cut. And you can just throw this in there like so.
If we don't, Lucy, if we don't have fresh mangoes, can we use the frozen mangoes?
Absolutely. If anything, it might make it a little bit easier, because then you add less ice. And most of the time, frozen mango is really sweet already. So it's picked during the time that it is really ripe. So it's not a bad thing. I just personally love the flavor of having a fresh mango.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually include one more little mango, because I want to make sure that it is really nice. And if the mango is not really sweet, sometimes what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of agave, just a little bit. As you know, agave is super sweet, but it's just nicer than sugar or simple syrup, so it's just a nice touch. And then before we get that blended, what I would like to do is introduce you to our Pezcraft chamoy. So we make this in-house. And we actually, you know, chamoy has become more and more popular. And it was interesting, because the ones I see at the supermarket, sometimes they've got that really bright redness, and they've got so much sodium. And I looked at the ingredients, because my kids are really into it. And I thought, I don't really want them consuming all of this like artificial flavors and so much sodium, because as a kid, I remember enjoying chamoy, and it was, fleshy. So I did some research on it, and it was really interesting, because chamoy is actually made from plums, and it's a plum called umeboshi. And it was brought over by a Japanese immigrant to Mexico in the 1950s, and they would take the plums and put it in brine and dehydrate them, so to speak, and that's where you make the saladitos from. And then whatever brine was left, you would add chili seasoning to that. So it got the essence of the plum plus the salt from the brine, and then the chili made it a chamoy, which I just thought was really fascinating. I think that's why cuisine is just so interesting when you have so many mixes of cultures.
No, absolutely. I had no idea what the chamoy was made out of. But besides this great cocktail you'll be making for us, what other uses can we use the chamoy for?
Well, the chamoy is actually good for so many things. I mean, I like to. It's nice to rim the glass in the chamoy because then you whatever powder you're using. In this case, we're using the Pez Black. I'm gonna plug in all of our brands here, but we've got the full setup here. You've got your chamoy, you've got your Pez powder, and you've got your cocktail mix ready to go. So you can get creative. You can go around the rim here. And I like to do it all the way around so that you can really grab a lot of the Pez powder. And you'll see here, this looks so yummy. So there you have it all around. And then we add a little bit of, this is a combination of just freshly squeezed orange juice and lemon juice. So you've got a little bit of citrus, I would say maybe about 2 ounces. And then tequila. And like I said, Corralejo is one of my favorites. It's one of the only tequilas made in Guanajuato. And we visited their distillery, and it's just really amazing and really impressive.
You know what, Lucy, we need to do once La Cocina opens up, we're going to have una noche de Guanajuato or sabor a Guanajuato.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing with pozole verde and Corralejo tequila.
There you go.
So we're just gonna add about 1 cup of ice. And we are ready to mix this up. And you want to start low so that it doesn't go up too high. I'd say it looks about ready. Thank you for dealing with the noise. And we just pour it into this gorgeous hand-blown glass, also from Guanajuato, but this is from San Miguel de Allende. And then for presentation purposes, I like to add a tamarindo stick. And then to even make it even better into a mangoneada, you add a little bit of the chamoy on top. And you just mix it in. And now you've got a refreshing, gorgeous, slushy mango margarita.
That looks delicious. Now, if I go to Pez Cantina this weekend, can I order that drink?
Absolutely, absolutely. 6 days a week.
6 days a week. I know you got a lot of great stuff, products that you guys are creating in-house for people to go and purchase to continue those flavors at home. You're talking about different seasonings that you created. Can you share with those what are the options for us to shop for?
Absolutely. So when we first opened up, and if any of you have ever been to Pez Cantina, our chips are addicting. They're so delicious. And one of the secrets why is because we use this Pez Powder Original, and it's a chili lime seasoning. It's got the perfect assortment of tanginess, of sweetness, of spiciness. And so we would use that on our French fries, on searing our ahi tuna, on, like I said, our chips. And the demand for it became so popular that I started printing labels at home and jarring it up. And now fast forward, we've got a co-packer, we're at Bristol Farms, we're in Super King markets, and we've got a number of supported liquor stores that are carrying our product now. So if you want to make your micheladas or mangoneadas at home, you've got your essentials there. So this is the original. And then we've got the Pez Black, which is chipotle. And it's got a little bit more of a smoky feeling. And it's a little bit, this one kind of sprinkled a little bit easier. This one, I like it because it almost like turned into a mini saladito. It's delicious, minus the pit. And then last but not least, my personal favorite, the Pez Green, which is the jalapeno. And this on popcorn, oh, it's too good. I mean, we've been known to go through 2 buckets of the large bowl at a movie theater back when we could go to movies because of this powder. So I highly, highly recommend it. This is also great on any of our margaritas. So we alternate whatever rim we want to do on whatever flavor. So like, for example, this green works really great. We've got this guavarita, which is the margarita mix made with fresh guavas. It's delicious. And then we've got our pez paloma, which is, we make it in-house with tamarindo and grapefruit. Can you see that? And this one works really well with the pez black. And then the cucumber smash can go anyway, but I like it personally with the pez green, the jalapeno, because you've already committed to having spicy, so might as well keep going.
Lucy, for more information, can we go on your website?
Absolutely. Yes, our menu is online, so you can see all of the pricing for our Pez Craft cocktails, either to dine in or to go. Like I said, our patio is open. It's so beautiful. We've made it very lush. We are keeping everyone safe by keeping the 6 feet distance, but in order to separate them, we've added all this like tropical plants, so it feels like you're in an oasis in the heart of downtown LA. So it feels really welcoming, and we welcome you anytime.
What are your hours? What's your address? Where can we find you, Lucy?
So we're on Bunker Hill, 401 South Grand, right in the smack center of the financial district. And we are only closed on Mondays, and Tuesday through Saturday, we're open for lunch and dinner until 9 and 10 p.m. Well, maybe I should go Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 for lunch, and then we close at 9 p.m. And then Friday and Saturdays, due to popular demand, we're staying open until 10 p.m.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, it's been really great. I mean, the community has been so supportive, and all of our locals continue to support us, and even all of the people who no longer work in the area still come in, do the drive-in just to get a fix of our ceviches or our fish tacos or whatever it may be.
Besides your delicious lunch and dinner menus, do you guys have any happy hours, any upcoming brunches, special events that we can share?
Well, we're big believers that every hour is happy. and as far as brunch, we do offer brunch on Saturdays and Sundays. So Sundays, we're only open for brunch. We close at 4 p.m. But we've got everything on the menu from like the ube waffles with fried chicken, or we've got our house-made mole, we've got molcajetes, we've got chilaquiles. I mean, it's just a really, really nice. My personal favorite, the horchata French toast. Oh, they're to die for.
That sounds so yummy. A real quick question, is the patio dog friendly, by the way? Folks are asking if they can bring their pet with them.
Yes, we are dog lovers, and when they come in, they can come in and enjoy the patio, and we'll bring them some doggy snacks and some water to drink, and they can just relax with their mates.
Another thing is parking.
Parking, as we all know, parking is very difficult in downtown LA, but we are so lucky to have parking in our building, and we validate 2 hours for lunch at $7.50 and 3 hours for dinner at $7.50. And on the weekends, if you go past those 3 hours, the max is $12. So in my opinion, it's a deal because it's so hard to find affordable parking in downtown LA. So
Yes, having parking downtown is definitely a plug. Absolutely. There's so many fans, so many hellos from all over the country. Selena Rojas is asking any upcoming cookbooks.
Oh my gosh, that would be very nice. It's in the works. It's all handwritten right now. Brett and I have been documenting all of our favorite recipes that we create together for the last, Brett and I have been together for 20 years, not to give away my age, but we continue to add it, and we go back and we look at some of the old recipes, and they're still some of our favorites. So God willing, yes.
I know you guys have delicious stuff, but you also do amazing baking. When you guys you guys do like scones, brownies. Will any of those recipes might make the book?
Absolutely. In fact, one of our best-selling desserts here is a tres leches flan cake. So it was creative because one of our friends couldn't decide what kind of cake they wanted for their birthday. And Brett said, why not do both? So we did a layer of flan and then topped it with the tres leches cake. And it's, super moist and delicious with all of the dairy. And then to top it off, it's got the cream cheese frosting and fresh fruit on top. It's divine. So that would definitely make it into the cookbook. And And we are also partners at Milk. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, Milk Ice Cream Parlor and Bake Shop on Beverly Boulevard. So that's where Brett's first love was born with pastries. He trained in France for a while, so he brings a lot of that talent into our menu, and it's just really fun. But you know, it's really great because, like I said, cuisine just evolves. This tiki dinner, we did a dessert that was phenomenal, and one of our cooks, he's Salvadorian, and he made a quesadilla, which is almost like a cheesecake, but like a baked cake. And it was so phenomenal that it worked its way into the tiki dinner dessert menu, topped with ube ice cream. So the marriage of like the ube with the savoriness of the cheese, but it was just so sweet and fluffy, and it was so delicious. So those are things that now are evolving that will make it permanently into our dessert menu. And it's just really fun to watch things evolve.
You know what I love about Pez? It's a little bit of everything. I get my surf, I get my turf, I get beautiful cocktails and desserts. It's like one-stop shop for me if I want to have a beautiful evening. And it's such a beautiful location under the stars in the heart of downtown in Bunker Hill area. There's parking, dog-friendly. You know, you got it all.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that, you know, you guys are all willing to make these recipes at home. Like I said, I am not a trained chef, but it's really easy. It's really fun. The presentation looks great. You'll impress all of your friends. I feel like sometimes just buying some of these mixes, you can taste the freshness. We batch them out almost daily, and it makes you look good. It makes you feel like you've created something, you've given birth to something. So it's really fun. I think cooking is one of the most fun things you can do. And especially because you get to enjoy it with friends and family, and they also get to reap those benefits. So I highly recommend trying it. If you have any questions, we can go into detail about the recipes or whatever you may need.
Thank you. Thank you. For those who are watching us, we do have the beautiful recipes that Lucy was so kind to share. We'll be emailing those out. Please look for Pez Cantina on Instagram, on Facebook, their own webpage to buy all her beautiful products, her salts, her cocktails, order some food. If you're in downtown, go visit. She's always at the front desk, always beautiful smile, and her gorgeous husband, Brett, in the back, making really beautiful food in Los Angeles, something fresh every day. Thank you, Lucy, for joining us. I hope we can work together very soon. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Now I pass it over to Mr. Aberaldo.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Lucy. That looked delicious. Those drinks are, oh, I can't wait for the end of the day. Anyway, we have another question here from Allison Sotomayor. Do you have any great vegan recipes to share?
Vegan is actually one of my favorite ways of cooking. I think that if you took that exact recipe minus the shrimp, it would be just as delicious and it would be completely vegan. So anytime, we've actually created a menu on its own that's vegetarian, but upon request, we are able to adjust our menu to whatever dietary needs. I think that almost anything can be converted into a vegan dish. We don't, I mean, obviously the protein is sometimes the main part of the dish, but all this beautiful produce, we were just talking about this earlier. We're so lucky to live in California. We have access to such gorgeous produce, beautiful vegetables and fruit, and you can create just about anything using non-animal products. So.
All right, well, thank you. And I know one of your lines of business is, of course, your catering. And I imagine that's kind of slowed down over these past few months. But when you're up and running again, I highly recommend to give Pez Cantina a call for their catering services. We use them quite a bit at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. And we alwaez hope for leftovers if whenever another organization comes and uses our conference room so that we could enjoy some of Pez's fabulous dishes. One question, what is your go-to oil when cooking at your restaurant?
I personally love to cook with avocado oil. I just feel like it doesn't have as much flavoring, so you can add it to whatever recipes without altering it, and it emulsifies really nicely.
So if it emulsifies nice, it'll be great for salad dressings?
It would be great for salad dressings, or For example, there's a salsa that we like to make with jalapenos and well, in this case we use olive oil. But once you start blending the jalapenos with the olive oil, it emulsifies and it turns into almost like a spicy creaminess. So it's really delicious. So, but I like avocado oil. It's my go-to on just about everything. And it fries nicely too.
All right, thank you very much. Well, thank you to all. Thank you, Lucy and Jimena, for the presentation. Lucy, incredible. All of you that joined us on Zoom and Facebook Live. If you came in late, you could always catch us on our Facebook. We'll be archiving this video on our Facebook and also on YouTube. It usually lands there a couple hours later. And you'll find not just this session, but all of La Plaza, all of our En Casa con La Plaza sessions, including presentations with Chef John Rivera Sedler, with Lola Dweck of Lola's Kitchen, Salsa de Molcajete with Oscar Ochoa, and of course, the Shrimp and Seafood Aguachile and Mezcal Margarita demonstration by Brett Thompson, your partner at Best Cantina.
That's right.
So you can catch them all on our YouTube page, that's at La Plaza LA, our Facebook page at La Plaza LA, our website, laplazala.org. Thanks so much again for tuning in. We'd like to thank our sponsors, SoCal Gas and the California Humanities and the National Endowment for the Humanities as part of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act. Again, if you didn't catch the session, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and our website. Our upcoming sessions, you'll find them on our website and our Facebook page as well, including this is a jam-packed week. We got a lot going on. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Mexican-American History Makers with Nancy de los Santos, a writer, producer, and director, and Marisa Lopez, a UCLA professor, and the lead on the Picturing Mexican America series on Instagram, a fabulous historical series that you'll be able to see photographs and get history about Mexican and Americans here in Los Angeles. On Wednesday at 3 o'clock, an afternoon sessions for families, our own Mario Hernandez from La Plaza de Cultura y Artes doing a workshop on papel picado on paper flowers so that you could be able to do them at home. As you know, or you may not know, this Saturday is the 50th anniversary commemoration of the Chicano Moratorium. So we have two sessions this week. On Friday, Songs of the Chicano Moratorium with Agustin Gursa, a writer and editor. We'll be talking about the music that was driving the anti-war movement amongst Chicanos back in the 70s. And then on Saturday, August 29th, Inside the Chicano Moratorium, 50 years later, with Rosalio Munoz, an activist and writer and one of the co-organizers of the Chicano Moratorium. And then next week's En Casa con La Plaza Cocina, next Monday, Carrot Tacos with Tomatilla Salsa with Leslie Tellez, a journalist and author. So again, thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Monday. Once more, adios, Lucy. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jimena, we'll see you next week.
Gracias.
All right. Adios a todos. We'll see you soon.